Hey there, I'm so excited that you are here. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 of my biggest secrets to selling more items on whatever platform you're on. These secrets, these tips that I have for you will work wherever you are selling. Hey, I'm Lee Meyer and I'm the founder of Listing of Freedom and the Empowered Reseller. And I help clothing resellers make more money without hustling harder. Let's get started. I've made over $100,000 selling used clothes on sites like eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. Plus, I help other resellers get started in their reselling journey and grow their business. And I've learned so many lessons along the way to $100,000 and along with helping so many of my clients and students. And I'm going to be sharing with you 4 of the biggest secrets to making more money, selling more items in your business. Now, I primarily focus on clothes, but the lessons that you're going to learn in this video will help you no matter what types of items you are selling. All right, so we're going to jump right in, and I'm going to kick this video off with the number 1 reason that I see other resellers or people who are trying to resell not making sales. And that number 1 problem, the number 1 reason why your items may not be selling is that they are not in demand items. They aren't items that people want or the market is too swamped. So a lot of times resellers will pick up things and think, okay, this is cute. I'll try selling this just because, it's cute and I like it. Or they think, this is an expensive brand. If it's a lot of money in the store, a lot of money at the mall, then it must be worth a lot on Poshmark or a lot on eBay used. And I know I made this mistake myself as a new seller. If you're curious what types of clothing brands, if you're looking into selling clothing, what types of brands that you should be flipping, I do have a free list that I want to give you just for being here, just for watching this video as a thank you to you. You will find the link for that free list in the description below this video. You can jump through all of the hoops in the world. You can follow all of the sales tactics, all of the advice out there on YouTube. But if you are not selling the right items, if your items are not in demand, then you will not make sales no matter how hard you try. And it can feel like you're banging your head against the wall. So how are you supposed to know what is an in-demand item? Well, this is where the sell-through rate comes in, and this is just a quick comparison of, okay, how many items are currently listed and how many have actually sold. And you can look this information up on basically any platform that you're selling on. What I don't want to see is that a ton of items are listed and nothing is selling. I would aim for at least a minimum of 10% items that have been sold. So if you're seeing 2,000 listings out there, 200 would need to have sold for me to go, okay, this might be worth my time. Of course, you're going to have other factors like how much you're paying for the item and how much they're selling for that you're going to need to take into account in addition to that sell-through rate. So at the very, very minimum, I would go 10%. And if you can get a higher sell-through rate or that item has a higher sell-through rate, it's going to be even better. All right, number 2, to be able to sell more, in addition to having in-demand items, the items that people are actually looking to buy and wanting to buy, you need to price your items competitively. I've been doing some research around in YouTube land, watching what other resellers are saying, and I'm hearing so much bad advice. I'm just gonna say that, come out and say that, about overpricing your items. And in some cases, they're saying, double up what you would actually take. And in reality, that is going to hurt you. That's going to slow your sales. It's going to take more work on your part to get those items to sell if you're way overpricing. Reselling, no matter what platform you're on, is a competitive market. You're competing against other sellers. You're competing against other listings for the same exact item. And you need to be priced competitively in order to make sales. One of the traps that we fall into as resellers is we can think, okay, I'm not making that much money after all the work I've put into it. After all of those marketplace fees, I'm not making very much per item. But in reality, the profit margin with reselling is quite large. In fact, it's larger than most other physical products that you could be selling. Take into account any retailer out there. If you think of Costco or Walmart, they're not making very much per item. They're going after just making profit on the amount of products sold off of the volume that they're selling. Their profit margin is very, very small. The other example is if you were to go and say, hey, instead of reselling, I'd rather make quilts, or I would rather pour candles and sell those. You're gonna have expenses that go into making that product. You're gonna have time that goes into making that product. And nobody would ever expect to put in, say, $5 a product to make a candle and then turn around and sell it for 20. That just doesn't happen. Your profit margin on handmade items, not even counting your time, is going to be very small. With reselling, on the other hand, your profit margins are still relatively large even after sales and all of your expenses. And it's not unheard of to make, 10 times what you invested in the item. So if you paid $2 for an item and you made $20 off of it, that is not unheard of. That is a huge, huge profit margin. And you do have room to price competitively and still make a good percentage of a profit margin for yourself. So how do you know how to price your items competitively? Well, you're going to want to do some research on comparable sales and look up exact items or similar items that have actually sold on the platform where you're going to be listing on. All right, number 3 on this list is to take better pictures. Now, this might seem quite obvious, but after going through listing after listing, even of sold items, I have noticed that there are so many bad pictures or pictures where there is room for improvement. This is an easy way. It is probably the easiest way to be able to stand out from your competitors and build in that little extra profit margin for yourself, just with the simple act of providing your customers with better photos. As I've been going through the creation of the Big Money Brands library, I've been on platforms doing the research of what brands are selling and what types of items are selling, and it's become so apparent just how bad some of the pictures are. So I'm gonna give you 3 easy tips to take better pictures just in case this might be you. So the first tip to improve your pictures is just to provide more pictures. There's so many listings that I see where there might be 1 or 2 pictures. That's just not enough for your item. I don't care what type of item it is, you're gonna need more than 1 or 2 photos to correctly describe that item to your customer. They can't see it in person, so you need to provide different angles, you need to provide close-ups, you need to provide pictures of tags, of the material content, of washing instructions, so that your customer knows exactly what they're getting. The second tip for taking better pictures is to take your pictures in good lighting. Now, this could mean going out and getting a lighting kit, or it could be something as simple as taking your items closer to a window or taking them outside so that you're able to get them in a natural lighting and get rid of those shadows and anything that's going to be distracting from the item. The third tip to quickly improve your photos is to get rid of any clutter or distraction from the background. There's no reason to go in and throw in props or do anything extra fancy. It can actually hurt you. And here is a pro tip I have for you for taking better pictures, and that is to use a background eraser. Now, I've been trying these out for a few years now, and the technology has improved a ton. When background erasers first came out, they were a pain to use. They were not worth the time that it took to use them, but now there are much better background erasers on the market. One of those that a lot of people use is Lightroom. The one that I personally use for my business is called Photo Room, and it runs about $6 a month for the pro version, but the free version could work fine for you. But that $6 small investment for me is way worth the return that I get on being able to sell my items for the full asking price, because the picture says, hey, I'm worth that. When you use a background eraser, this is really cool what happens when you don't have any of those props in the picture. Let's say somebody goes to their favorite search engine, whether that's Yahoo or Google or Bing or whatever they're using, and they go and type in, white cable knit sweater V-neck. That search engine, even though the person is not shopping on Poshmark or not shopping on Mercari or not shopping on eBay or wherever your item's listed, that search engine will be able to know from the picture alone and be able to serve that item up to the person in the search engine as a result and saying, hey, this item is available for sale. And you can make sales that way that come organically through search engines. When you use a background eraser and do not have other items in the picture, the search engine will be better able to identify the item that you are selling and provide that to the customer who is looking for your specific item. Fourth up, to be able to sell more is to use keywords in your listing. Keywords have two primary functions. The first is to serve as a way for the platform that you're selling on to be able to serve up the correct item that the buyer is shopping for. So let's say they go and put in that they want a midi length skirt with stripes. And you have in your listing, you have an item and it has stripes and it is a midi length skirt. Because it matches what the buyer is looking for, the platform is going to be more likely to show your item above other people who may have just generically said women's skirt. The second function of using keywords in your title and in your descriptions is to get people to move over from, okay, this picture is awesome, this looks like a great item. The next thing that they look at is your title. And if it has the keywords that they're looking for, then that is when they're going to be clicking into your listing to see if this is the item that they are in search of. There are two places where I would recommend having keywords. The first up would be the title. That is the most important place to have keywords. And the second place is in your description. And it goes back to those search engines again, because it is searching through those descriptions and trying to find the items that, the people that are searching for that they want. And keywords are going to be the thing that gets your item in front of the buyers who want to buy. So how do you know what good keywords are, what keywords you should be using? Well, there's a couple of ways. The first way is to note what sorts of item specifics that the platforms make available to you when you're listing your item. For anybody selling on multiple platforms, you'll know that the eBay item specifics can be a little bit overwhelming, but they're there for a reason. And it's because shoppers are using them to be able to better find the items that they are looking for. Pro tip here is if you're listing an item, it'll actually tell you how many shoppers are searching for that category of item specific. Some are going to be very, very popular that people are searching for a lot, such as say the shape of the neck or the length of the sleeve. That would give you a good hint of, hey, maybe I should use this in my title as a keyword. The second way to find good keywords is to take a look through sold listings and see what sorts of keywords are in the listings that have been sold. Is it the type of material? Is it the pattern? Is it, what sort of function this item is for? Sold listings can give you some really good clues into the keywords that are selling right now. All right, so if you want to sell more, make sure that you follow all 4 of these tips. They're all gonna work in conjunction to help you sell more items and see more money in your business. So remember to sell in-demand items, the items that people actually want, and to price them competitively. Take great photos and make sure that you use keywords in your listing. I'd love to know in the comments below which one of these 4 tips you're going, okay, I could probably improve in this area. I'd love to know below. Let me know in the comments. Be sure to grab my free brand list in the description below. There's a link and I'll send that to you instantly. Thanks for watching and have a fantastic day.